Ugandan opposition figure Kizza appeared before a military court in the capital Kampala, where he has denied charges that include the illegal possession of firearms and negotiating to buy arms abroad. His appearance comes after his wife said he was kidnapped in neighboring Kenya and sent back home, where he was being held in a military jail. So what's happening in Uganda, and why has the opposition faced oppression for decades with no resolve on sight? We decode that on the show today. You are watching World of Africa on WION World is One. I'm Eric Njoka. Welcome to the show. If things work out as Namibia's long-time governing party hopes, the country will be electing its first female head of state. But a mood of disillusionment with liberation movements in Southern Africa, coupled with the anti-incumbency feeling in many parts of the world, may pose a threat to what will be a historic achievement. 72-year-old Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah is the flag bearer for SWAPO, which has led the country since independence from apartheid South Africa in 1990. Here is our cover report from Windhoek.
It was a blue affair in Katutura, Khomas, as Namibia's ruling Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, made their way to the stadium to pitch their plans to the voters. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah is the flag bearer for SWAPO. She says she is proud of the long journey undertaken during her election campaign, with days to go before the election. Political veteran NNN, as she is known, is hoping to become the country's first female president as her party prepares for its toughest race since independence.
Comrades, I know it has become a tradition that when I start, the rain starts, but I'm telling you, remaining calm. It will not pour. It will be just like that. And as I'm finishing, then it will stop. So remaining calm, remaining quiet, talk to the Lord. He is here with us. And then that is his own message. His participation, his talking to us today, particularly in this rally. So that's not rain, eh? The Almighty is also with us and is talking to us.
In the capital Windhoek, Makenri Venani, president of Namibia's opposition party, the Popular Democratic Movement, or the PDM, set his eyes on the farmers, promising to prioritize Namibia's agricultural sector to ensure food security, job creation, and widen the country's economic base.
The three main challenges in this country is youth unemployment, housing, and a sluggish economy. One of the things that I'm going to do is to spend 10% of our national GDP on agriculture to stimulate food production, stimulate value chains, create jobs, and food security. Expand the base of the economy to absorb young people into jobs. That's a very critical area.
Will Namibia be the next country in Southern Africa to kick out a political party in power since independence? In a year that has proven fatal for many ruling parties across the region, Namibia's election is set to be a tight contest for the ruling Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO. In the last 6 months, South Africa's African National Congress lost its parliamentary majority for the first time since the end of apartheid. The Botswana Democratic Party was ousted after almost 6 decades in power, And though the ruling Frelimo won recent elections in Mozambique, civil society and opposition groups have demonstrated for weeks claiming fraud and demanding change. Namibia gained independence in 1990, while Mozambique's civil war ended in 1992 and South Africa's first free elections were in 1994. Today, it is those known as the born free after independence who represent a large chunk of the electorate.
What is quite evident that we've seen under the SWAPO governance is a mixture of both, good and bad. And another thing is also, one thing that's also really hasn't been touched, where we see the youth being marginalized, is youth empowerment. SWAPO has done us good, but I feel like we've given them ample time, but we'll let the electorate speak for themselves and see who wins.
I'm just hoping for the change actually, because everything in Namibia, I feel like they need to be changed, especially education. It needs to be changed, it needs to improve.
In Namibia, unemployment was estimated at 46% among 15 to 34-year-olds, according to the latest figures from 2018, almost triple the national average. The younger population has increased tremendously. Critics are hoping that as Namibian voters prepare to cast their ballots, they will be influenced by the changes sweeping the region. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
A prominent Ugandan opposition politician was kidnapped during a book launch in Kenya, transferred to Uganda, and is being held at a military jail in Kampala. His wife is now worried that her husband will not be accorded justice by the military. Kizza has run against Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni in 4 elections and lost each time, although he has rejected the results, alleging fraud and voter intimidation. He has been arrested dozens of times before. Here's a report.
In July, Kenyan authorities detained 36 members of Besigye's Forum for Democratic Change (FDC) party, one of Uganda's main opposition groups. Deported to Uganda, they were charged with terrorism-related offences. Besigye, an outspoken critic of the Museveni government in Uganda, was kidnapped during the launch of a book by veteran Kenyan opposition politician Martha Karua. Days later, he was produced in a military court in Uganda and charged with possession of an illegal firearm. The former president of the Forum for Democratic Change (FDC) party was also charged with seeking military support from abroad to destabilize Uganda's military forces.
Well, he has been arraigned on 4 counts, one of being in possession of firearms illegally, a pistol, and also ammunition, and having plotted to indulge in subversive activities in Greece, in Switzerland, and Kenya. That's basically what has happened here. There are 4 counts relating to those issues, and he has been charged under the martial law, which is really very, very unfortunate because he's not a serving officer.
If the person is in some hand somewhere, they're not under a known, recognized authority, and they show up here, it's very concerning, it's very distressing.
Museveni's government has been accused of repeated human rights abuses against opposition leaders and supporters in Uganda, including illegal detentions, torture and extrajudicial killings. Besigye's wife, who flagged the abduction, fears her husband will not get justice from a military court where he has been charged.
We can only wait for them to appear in a civilian court. But in the military court, we do not expect to get justice.
Besigye was once an ally and personal physician of President Yoweri Museveni while the aging leader was in the bush battling the government. The two eventually fell out before Besigye retired from the army and eventually challenged Museveni in 4 presidential contests. He has lost in all but rejected the results as fraudulent. He also alleged that the previous presidential elections were rigged, a claim the government has denied, and has been arrested on numerous occasions in the past.
I want President Museveni to know that his security system is in overdrive, complete overdrive, because the very people who frame others from his system, those people who go and fabricate and get opponents of NRM party, they get rewarded. And so the system has an incentive inside their incentives to keep framing and keep creating, fabricating, and criminalizing opposition. I'll speak with everyone. And yes, I am keen to speak with the president, to speak with the leaders of, if they want to, other leaders, whether in the parliament or wherever, about ways forward.
Besigye has been less active in politics in the last couple of years and did not contest the 2021 election, telling his supporters in April that he had taken a political break. But he announced he was returning to the political fray for the next 2 years to sort out the chaos in his party that was split into two factions. He said he wanted to retire at 70 and will push hard to help Ugandans in the little time he had. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Now, in a small coastal suburb of South Africa's Cape Town, it's a daily showdown between man versus baboons. Residents and businesses in Simon's Town fear leaving their homes as the baboons have wreaked havoc while hunting for meals. Simon's Town is one of several Cape Town suburbs affected by troops of baboons that live on the fringes of Table Mountain National Park. Here's a detailed report by our correspondent, Carl Denormu.
Hundreds of chakma baboons, a monkey species that can weigh up to 40 kilos, roam Cape Town's seaside village of Simonstown, enchanting tourists and some locals, but also creating a nuisance for others. As human settlements increasingly encroach on their habitat, the baboons are pushed higher up to the mountains, where foraging conditions are harder.
So what we have in Cape Town, which is really unique, is that Table Mountain National Park is an unfenced open access reserve. And the way that it is laid out is that it is intersected by urban areas, by roads, by farms, by homesteads, by whole developments in places. And so we get to live in this reserve, not just on the border of it. We're all actually living within a reserve by definition.
Over the years, the baboons have become so bold that City of Cape Town is struggling to find the best solutions on how best to keep them away from homes. The city has for years run a program to manage the marauding monkeys. However, some techniques such as firing paintball guns to keep troops away or culling have come under fire. Facing criticism and funding limits, the authorities said the baboon management program would be wound down by the end of the year.
Forming a barrier on the urban edge, fences forming a barrier on the urban edge, these cost a lot of money, and they have to be there 365 days of the year. And that's a huge investment. And it's unusual for urban areas to invest in what is called a least concern species. So globally, if we think of Europe, boar are a least concern species. And in Germany, Berlin, or you have hunters who just go out and shoot the boars. That's a primarily lethal control method. So here on the tip of Africa, we have a primarily non-lethal approach, which is the gold standard for wildlife management.
According to authorities, 33 baboons were known to have died between July 2023 and June 2024, the highest number in 10 years. Nearly half the deaths were caused by human factors, including shooting with pellet guns, collisions with vehicles, and dog attacks.
Many people have given different solutions to the baboon problem in Cape Town. While some say coexistence with baboons should come with a degree of human compliance, starting with managing food waste, others say the only viable solution is to erect a fence. But will all these put an end to the monkey business? Only time will tell. This is Calden Alma from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION World is One.
Enterprising young Kenyan photographers and TikTokers are using the streets of Nairobi's central business district to earn some cash in a country where the United Nations estimates 67% of 15 to 34-year-olds are without a job. Here's their story.
Strolling through streets in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi, people are likely to observe a vibrant presence of the youth, especially on Sundays when the bustling city typically experiences a lull in foot traffic. A closer look at these lively gatherings reveals groups of people posing for photographs, choreographers devising dance routines, and TikTokers creating the latest TikTok trends. Before Nairobi's streets transformed into a photography haven for the youth, obtaining a photography and videography permit was a cumbersome and costly process. It required obtaining a license from the Kenya Films and Classification Board at the cost of dozens of US dollars, notifying the police and making numerous visits to the local administrator's office for a single day of shooting. Some of these regulations are outdated, and the government of Nairobi has now waived all business permits for freelance photographers and filmmakers in the city.
I operate in open-air market. In Swahili it is called soko hewani. So you just approach people, random people walking in the street. You approach them, you sweet talk them. You must have that good language to convince them. And most of the time, our potentials are those people who are having good attire, like you have that sense of fashion.
On the other end of the street, young Kenyans create and share videos on the popular social media app TikTok. Dozens of youngsters perform dance routines and record them on smartphones.
They allow us, because the youth don't have work opportunities. So we employ ourselves, the talent. So they allow us, and we showcase our talent, what we have.
You just don't have to sit and be idle. You can come, do something, then make people happy with your content.
The National Council for Population Export 2023 says approximately 800,000 Kenyan youth enter the job market each year. But available economic opportunities, both formal and informal, fall short of meeting their needs. In this context, emerging crafts such as street photography are likely to evolve into profitable ventures for the youthful demographic in the near future. Africa Bureau, WION, World is One.
Let's head to West Africa now, where festivities rang in the air as Indians brightened up Nigeria's skies to mark Diwali. The celebrations were more elaborate there because of restrictions. Bursting of crackers have gone down in the last 5 years, but gifts, parties with friends, pujas at offices make up for the fact that they are far away from their homeland.
Welcome to Diwali 2024.
Diwali means lights, sparkling buildings, sweets, crackers, sales, holiday fun. But what does it mean when you're far away from home? Does living in foreign shores means no festivities? Maybe for some, but the answer is absolutely no for those living in Nigeria. You may miss the family and those beautifully lit malls and shops and sales back home. But celebrations go on nonetheless here at the ICA Diwali Mela.
Lagos, the Indian Cultural Association in Lagos has been functioning for the past more than 52 years. And every year they celebrate Diwali for the past more than 30 years now actually. And it is one of the largest gatherings of Indian origin people, Indians, and also friends of India.
All the different communities of Indian society, they come together and enjoy and celebrate the dance, from various different samajam like Maharashtra Mandal, Kerala Samajam, various samajams. They participate, they do exhibit the dance of their respective states. This is my 25th year of participating in the Diwali festival. I came in 1999 and this is 2024, a silver jubilee for me.
Diwali is over, but not the celebrations, at least not in Abuja. Every year, the Indian Cultural Association Lagos holds a Diwali Mela, and this year is no different.
This event we have been performing for over 30 years. Indian Cultural Association is a 52-year organization, and we have been recognized as Pravasi Bharat Award, which is the highest award for any organization which is situated outside India.
The Indian community in Nigeria has expanded over the years, and that relationship was bolstered by the visit of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in November. That bond transcends beyond business or diplomacy, as the Mela also hosted some locals who are intrigued by the culture.
This is my first time in any Diwali celebration, and getting here, it's such a beautiful experience, seeing the fusion of different cultures, you know, arts and all of that. For me, it looks like this is their own Christmas celebration.
I get to see what I watch in movies live. Like, I know the Indians have different festivals, Diwali, Holi, and all that. So just seeing it live is, I'm looking forward to it.
It is a true celebration of Diwali spirit right here in Lagos, and being my very first time attending a Diwali celebration, it's amazing to experience the colors, the food, and the warm spirits of this festival. All thanks to the Indian Cultural Association in Lagos. Indians and visitors alike got a treat of a delightful mix of cultural performances, including traditional Indian dances, melodious music, and drama, showcasing the essence of Diwali. Events like this show reminds us of the importance of diversity and harmony in our world. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION World is One.
It's a wrap on this week's edition of World of Africa. Thanks for watching. Get in touch with us on all our social media platforms and tell us what you think about the show there. I'm Eric Njoka, and until next time, it's goodbye from me. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.